Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, my name is AspieAnswersAll. To the newbies that are on my channel, I welcome you with open arms right now basically, and hopefully you feel that this channel, hopefully of mine, is engaging enough and inviting enough that you won't feel judged, prejudged or what have you, because I'm all about supporting, advocating and mentoring everybody regardless of what I go through in my everyday life, hopefully with these stories and more of what I'm sharing on mine versus just everyday topics that we go through, that hopefully some of that tips and advice will inspire, motivate you all and encourage you all as a form of support. So don't feel threatened that, basically that I'm here to judge, because I'm not here to judge. I'm far from it. As you know, basically, if you've been following me from the word let go at this point of time though, however, of these series that I've just clearly introduced on the mental health ones is basically all about intrusive thoughts. What I covered so far is what it is, how different many of these are for those who are suffering basically intrusive thoughts, the tips and advice of how to go about the intrusive thoughts, treatments and therapies basically, as well as the lowdown of maybe just the description of the intrusive thoughts. So in all further ado guys, basically hopefully some of these has been of help and value to you or maybe someone that you know, and like I said, bear in mind if some of the stuff that I feel that I want to address close to my heart is showing classic signs and symptoms of whatever it is, basically through your friends, colleagues or even yourself, seek professional help is my disclaimer. I don't wish to have anyone condoning, or shall I say, I don't wish to condone anyone self-harming or doing anything that will actually likely to result in harming themselves in one way or another, So, in all further ado, let's begin on the description. Part 3, I think, or part 4. I'm losing track of how many parts I've done here, so I humbly apologise in advance, but, the drill guys, when it comes down to it, step by step in every series I've been doing to gain a better understanding of all these topics. Okay, so we know that many people in our lives, basically, or just us in general, will experience the type of bad or unwanted thoughts that comes unannounced, uninvited, unintentionally. That some people with more troubling, intrusive thoughts have, but most people can dismiss these thoughts automatically. For most people, intrusive thoughts are like a fleeting annoyance. Okay, basically, a psychologist by the name of Stanley Ruckman presented a questionnaire to some healthy college students and found that virtually all said that they had these type thoughts from time to time, including some of the thoughts of sexual violence, sexual punishment, unnatural sex acts, painful sexual practices, blasphemous or obscene images, and the list goes on. Okay, such bad thoughts are universal among us, us humans, and have almost certainly always been a part of the human condition, be it, like I said before, with or without these anxiety disorders, of different kinds. Okay, but the main classic one, as I said before though, however, when these intrusive thoughts occur with the ones that suffers from OCD, however, patients are least able to ignore these unpleasant thoughts because obviously, as I said before, as a compulsion, they're, ruminating on it time and time again. And it may be due to their pay undue attention to that kind of, intrusive thought, regardless what it may be, causing these thoughts to become more frequent and distressing for them as the sufferer of OCD. The thoughts then, as I said, may become an obsession, which then may be paralyzing severe and constantly present at all times. And they can range from thoughts of violence or sex to basically religious blasphemy. Distinguishing them from normal intrusive thoughts experiences by many people, the intrusive thoughts associated with OCD, however, may be anxiety provoking, irrepressible and persistent. As again, how people will react to these intrusive thoughts, however, may determine whether these thoughts will become severe, however, and turning into obsessions or just requiring treatment is the last final stage, when these intrusive thoughts occurs. Some may or can occur with or without compulsions, however. Carrying out that compulsion reduces the anxiety, but that makes the urge to perform the compulsion stronger each time it recurs, reinforcing these intrusive thoughts. According to Leibia, suppressing the thoughts only makes them stronger, and regardless, good thoughts don't signify that one is truly evil and one of steps to overcoming them. Okay, as I said before, suppression is not the good way. Okay, The possibility that most patients suffering from intrusive thoughts, though, however, will ever act on those thoughts is currently really low. Patients who are experiencing intense guilt, anxiety, shame and upset over these thoughts are different from those who actually act on them. Okay, the history of violent crime is dominated by those who feel no guilt or remorse. The very fact that someone is tormented by intrusive thoughts and has never acted on them before basically is an excellent predictor that they will not act upon the thoughts. Actually taking action might need to have more serious conditions as psychosis or potentially basically criminal behaviours that are ruled out. Okay. According to Lee Bayer, a patient should be concerned, however, that intrusive thoughts are dangerous if the person doesn't feel upset by the thoughts or rather finds them pleasurable, has ever acted on violent or sexual thoughts or urges, hear voices or see things that others don't see, or feels uncomfortable, irritable, anger. Okay, as I said before, that there are 3 different subcategories in these intrusive thoughts, and they are basically, if I can read, aggressive versus sexual versus religious. So I'm going to quickly, before I end this piece, address these 3 categories in this video so that you can get a better understanding and clarity to what this is all about. So the first part of the category was the abusive thoughts. The abusive thoughts may involve violent obsessions about hurting others or hurting them even themselves. They can be related to primarily obsessive compulsive disorders, as I mentioned. These thoughts can include harming an innocent child, from jumping over a bridge themselves, mountain or the high building, urges to jump in front of a train or automobile, basically, or what have you. Okay, Ruckman's survey, as I mentioned earlier in this video, basically, of healthy college students, found that virtually all of them had intrusive thoughts from time to time, including the following. Number 1, causing harm to the elderly people. Number 2, imagining or wishing harm on someone close to themselves or to oneself. Number 3, impulses to violently attack, hit, harm or kill someone, even a small child, regardless, or even an animal. And number 4, impulses to shout out or abuse someone, attack violently, punishing someone, or something rude and inappropriate, nasty or violent to someone. These thoughts are part of being human and need not to ruin quality of life. However, as I said, treatment is available for different, people with these type thoughts that are associated with OCD, and becomes persistent, severe or distressing if it's not treated properly. Like many things these days, it's all about managing and coping the best way I can. Number 2 of those categories I'm sharing with you all is sexual thoughts. Sexual obsessions involve intrusive thoughts or images of kissing, touching, fondling, oral sex, and sex intercourse, anal sex I should say, and rape, with strangers, acquaintances, parents, children, family members, and the list goes on. Like other unwanted intrusive thoughts or images, everyone has inappropriate sexual thoughts at times, but people with OCD may attach significance to the unwanted sexual thoughts, generating anxiety and distress. The thought that accompanies OCD leads to uncertainty regarding whether one might act on the intrusive thoughts, resulting in self-criticism or loathing, hating upon themselves. A person experiencing sexual intrusive thoughts may feel shame, embarrassment, guilt, distress, torment, fear of acting on the thought or perceived impulse, and doubt whether they have already acted in such a way. Depression, however, in this form of matter may result of the self-loathing that can occur depending on how much the OCD will interfere with the person with their daily functioning, that will likely to cause that distress. The concern of these thoughts may have caused them to scrutinize their bodies to a point to determine if the thoughts result in feelings of arousal. However, focusing attention on any part of the body, however, can result in feelings that in that part of the body, hence doing so may decrease confidence and fear about acting upon these urges. Last but not least, the religious thoughts. Blasphemous thoughts are a common component of OCD documented throughout history. However, notable religious figures such as your Martin Luther King and Ignatius of Loyola were known to be tormented by intrusive blasphemous or religious thoughts and urges. Martin Luther, however, had urges to curse God, obviously, as we know, Jesus, and was obsessed with images of the devil's behind. Saint Ignatius, however, had numerous obsessions, including the fear of stepping on pieces of straw, forming a cross, fearing that it showed disrespect to Christ. According to Fred Penzell, a New York psychologist, some common religious suspicion and intrusive thoughts are as follows. Number 1, sexual thoughts about God, saints, and religious figures. Number 2, bad thoughts or images during prayer or meditation. Number 3, thoughts of being possessed. Number 4, fears of sinning or breaking a religious law or performing a ritual incorrectly. Number 5, fears of missing prayers or reciting them incorrectly. Number 6, repetitive and intrusive blasphemous thoughts. Number 7, urges or impulses to say blasphemous words or commit blasphemous acts during the religious services. Suffering can be greater and treatment complicated when intrusive thoughts involve religious implications. Patients may believe the thoughts are inspired by Satan and may fear punishment from God or have magnified shame because of these. They perceive themselves as sinful. Symptoms can be more distressing for sufferers with strong religious convictions or beliefs. Bayard believes that blasphemous thoughts are more common, however, in Catholics and evangelical Protestants than any other religions, whereas Jews or Muslims tend to have obsessions related to more complying with the laws and rituals of their faith and performing the rituals perfectly. He hypothesizes that this is because what is considered inappropriate varies among cultures and religions, and intrusive thoughts torment their sufferers with whatever it is considered most inappropriate in that surrounding culture. Well, that basically ends the third or fourth part about the intrusive thoughts, the description part of it. However, give me a like for a thumbs up for support, basically showing that you're engaging. Feel free to comment below, feel free to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AspieAnswersAll, subscribe to my channel for hopefully daily, weekly vlogs, basically. As far as I'll communicate back to what's going on, if need be, of what's going down with me, if anything does arise. As I said, communication is important as well as engaging with you all. So, and all further ado, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your support, love what you do what you love. Until next time, I'll see you again.